As the holiest month approaches, many of us are hoping that this Ramadan will be better than the last one. We were unable to go to the masjid, but we had each other at home. We weren't able to go and visit our loved ones to break our fasts, but we were still able to have healthy, home-cooked food at the time of iftar. Across Sylhet, there are families who don't just go hungry during hot days in Ramadan. They go hungry throughout the year. Their fast goes unbroken, but they do have us. Alhamdulillah. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever feeds a fasting person will earn the same reward as him without anything being lessened for the reward of the fasting person. 13 Rivers Trust is a passionate organization working to help communities that are being forgotten. We celebrate the contribution made by our elders and emulate their practice of helping others. Sylhet Aid is our flagship program aimed at delivering aid to the poorest families across the greater Sylhet region. Sadly, the first generation of the British Bangladeshi community are disappearing, whether due to natural causes or return migration, and with them, the help that was once so abundant for the poor in Sylhet. With your help, we can make sure their legacy lives on and no one is ever forgotten. As part of this Ramadan, we're aiming to feed the most vulnerable families, struggling to provide for themselves. They depend on your kindness to get by.
ইফতারের সময় তো আপনারা কিছু আছে খাইবার, কিন্তু সকল সময় কিন্তু এটা ফাইন না।
ফাইন না, সকল সময় তো ফাইন না, ফাইন না, সকল সময় যার কোনো খাইতে পারব না, বুঝছেন না?
ভাই এলা আপনারা দ্বারা আমি বাচ্চাটা খাই না। এই খাইনি আপনারা যা দিছে তাও তো খাইতে পারবো
ইনশাআল্লাহ।
আপনারা লাগে নামাজ পড়ি দোয়া করবেন
ইনশাআল্লাহ। দোয়া করব।
আমরা করব আল্লাহ আপনারা বেস্ট করে এসে আল্লাহ দিতা।
These ladies are so happy. Like, to us, it's just Ramadan pack. We eat we eat chicken and chips, we eat fried food, we eat like samosas every day. We look forward to iftar. They don't look forward to iftar because there's nothing to eat. This Ramadan, inshallah, through Sylhet Aid, these people are going to open the iftar with so much food. Alhamdulillah.
No one deserves to go hungry, and every fast should be broken with healthy, nutritious food. You can help make that happen. Just £25 can provide a family with essential food items that will last the entire month. Your sadaqah and zakat will help us feed the fasting during the blessed month of Ramadan. Please, donate now, and may Allah bless you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This is Abjol and welcome to 13 Rivers Community Show. Once again, every Wednesdays we'll come to you with different topics, different issues, highlighting some of our concerns and celebrating those successes as well. And also, you know, developing a community online with COVID-19, with the challenges. Obviously, many families have been going through extreme hardship and difficulties, and as a borough, East London, wherever you may be, you know, it is better and it's good to actually be online and try and communicate with each other. And obviously we are bringing different topics on board. I hope you enjoyed some of the topics, and big thanks to everyone who's actually participated, contributed, and shared our information as well. So once again today, you know, very important, you know, let's make our discussion lively, educational, informative, and you can help by sharing the links so that a greater number of people can actually view us and watch and take part with us as well. Remember, you can actually call in. You can also message us on Facebook. We will do our best to read those comments out. If you do call us, we will give you priority to air your views, inshallah. Hopefully today we've got a very good topic today. Obviously, we've got our Tower Hamlets Executive Mayor John Biggs with us. It's good to have him on board. We'll get bit feedbacks on how he is doing as a mayor in Tower Hamlets and his response to COVID-19 and his views as well. We've also got Brother Councillor Farouk Ahmed. He's with us as well. He's a councillor for the Whitechapel ward. It's good to have him on board. And as a councillor, we can get a little bit more feedback what he's doing on the ground as well. With me, as usual, today, I've got Brother Abu Mumin, who's my co-host. Is he here? There he is. Look at that. He's nice and... Wa alaikum salam. Abu Bay, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Excited to be asking questions.
But before you go to any questions, for today's Tower Hamlet Mayor John Biggs and COVID-19 response, that was such a good video. Wait, tell us what that video was.
Yeah, I mean, what it is, we started this program after a lot of our parents started dying. Parents meaning who are from British Bangladeshi Sylheti community, and all that support and help that used to go to the poor has stopped. And so we started this legacy program. So every Ramadan we give out food packs to those who are most in need across the Greater Sylhet area. And this year we're trying to minimum give out 2,000 food pack. So inshallah, if people want to contribute or become helpers, they can sort of say, okay, I'll raise 10 food packs or 20 food packs. So we will talk about this inshallah. Let's talk about our guest, inshallah.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so let's go to Councillor Farouk Ahmed. Is he here with us? Oh, definitely. Farouk, wa alaikum salam. Welcome on board. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Well, no, definitely. It's our privilege to have you here, and obviously, I know you're very, very busy with a lot of your schedules and that. We will get to learn about some of those as well. Hopefully, inshallah, that'd be very good. And we've also got our executive mayor, John Biggs. Thank you very much. I know you've got a very, very busy schedule. For you to spend some time with us is really, really good, and also give us the opportunity for our viewers to ask any questions and that. How are you being, John?
Yeah, I'm okay. Busy. Just got home, working away, trying to keep the community safe. And really pleased to be on your show, Abjol. I know we weren't always on the same side of the council chamber, but I know you're a sincere person. And
well, look, we all live in Tower Hamlets. We're residents of Tower Hamlets. End of the day, I think for many of us, it's more about our communities, our residents, our estates. We've got to live here. We've got to, our kids are growing up here. So, I mean, all of us, irrespective of what political persuasion or background we come from, we've got to find solutions, and we've got to help and support each other, really. So, I mean, when it comes to maturity and mature communication and dialogue, we need to lead with good examples. So, welcome. It's really good to have people from different political backgrounds. Just to quickly set some ground rules as well for everyone. Please do write your thoughts and points, but please be respectful, courteous as well. If you got a question, we'd love to hear any questions, because we would like to learn from this opportunity, because obviously during the COVID lockdown we may not get a lot of information, we may not have a lot of accurate information, so it's a good opportunity for us to kind of utilize our mayor here and the councillor here, and anyone else is out there. If you're watching us, please don't hesitate, give us a call. The number will come up regularly on this. And also don't forget, we are launching our Ramadan food pack, so please go and visit 13 Rivers webpage, 13rivers.co.uk, and if you want to support us, if you want to donate, please go to our webpage. You can make donations there as well. Ramadan food pack is very important, because Ramadan, a lot of people wait to become charitable during the month of Ramadan, but how do you think the poorer members of the community there, how are they going to fast if we don't raise early enough to get the money over there, buy all the necessary items and goods for them to be able to utilize that during the month of Ramadan? So so that will happen. We will play that clip every break time, and hopefully you will get motivated. But the best way for you to get motivated, once you're motivated, is to share this experience to as many of your contacts and colleagues as possible. So very quickly, Abu Bay, all yours for first round.
Okay, first of all, very importantly, Abdul Doyas, who you all know, he's the chair of Royal London Hospital Patients and Families Group. His mother is at the last stages of her life. From Bengali, we say Sarkat. So he's requested that everybody makes humble prayer humbly make dua for his mother. He's very, very upset, and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it all easy for his mother and him.
Amen.
That's the first bit. Please write your questions or call in, and with your question. Shall I start with the first question, Abjol bhai?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, John. Since March, there's been over 27,000 COVID cases in Hamlets. There's been since September 274 COVID deaths, and you are aware of what's happening. First of all, what has the Hamlets Council's response been to support families in this regard?
Okay, so yes, this has been a terrible year, and a number of people have lost their lives, and others have suffered ill health. Many others have suffered catastrophic economic impact of COVID as well, with jobs ending and so on. So the community, with kids at home, the community has been traumatized by this. So what have we been doing? Well, obviously the first call is the NHS who are treating people, but we're doing work with supporting food banks, with supporting our anti-poverty programs, with our public information. So as a leader, together with other councillors, putting our messages across to try to encourage people to behave responsibly, keep themselves safe, with the hands, face and distance. But we're also working in terms of our support for the voluntary sector, so helping people to help themselves with advice and so on. Working with our social landlords. A lot of people live in social housing or in leasehold properties in social housing estates. So how do we manage that housing to help people be as safe as possible? Obviously, we work with the National Health Service as well. So when people are discharged from hospital, we want people to have a safe discharge. We have looked at alternative accommodation for people who are leaving hospitals. There's a whole bunch of other things as well. We're beginning to look at things like skills and employment training, because we need to start thinking what happens after COVID as well. Been working with the schools. We've been trying to get more tablet computers for kids who aren't in school. We're about 10,000 computers short. The government promised us lots. They've given us quite a few, but we're still quite short of them. So working with our schools, making sure the schools are supported and can work safely. Whole bunch of other stuff. So we've been inspecting premises, whether they're shops or markets, to make sure people know the rules, that they follow them thoughtfully. We're not going there as the police to track people down and penalise them. We're there to make sure that people know what good behaviour is, to keep themselves and their families safe. And I think quite a lot of people were sceptical when this all started, because I think people in the East End always challenge authority, but I think we've learned collectively to behave better and to try and keep our communities as safe as possible. I'm giving you a very long answer. I sense you want to interrupt me, Abu. Go on.
I do, because Ashid Ali asked a question to you. Large percentage of Hamlet's population have been vaccinated with the first dose. The schools are being open in 2 weeks' time. A lot of teachers are worried, and we know that COVID can spread through children. Can you, as mayor, not fast track this, liaise with the government to get allay the worries of the teachers and their families?
Well, not just myself, but a lot of other leaders in London and members of my cabinet think that key workers, so school staff, but also people like bus drivers, people in frontline jobs, should be given greater priority for vaccination. We've argued this with the government. We've argued it through our MPs. We've raised it at London-wide meetings. We've written to the Prime Minister and the Secretary of State, and up till now they have followed the advice of the vaccine advice people who said they're going to stick to the current priorities. I think what we're finding is that as the vaccine is rolling out, our local GPs are being more flexible and are trying to support families. I mean, obviously a big concern, given the impact of COVID in our communities, is multi-generational households and also overcrowded households. So we want that flexibility. We don't have the power as the council to overrule the government, but we're chiseling away at that, and we're working with our local GPs, and I think we're looking at ways to get around those barriers. Remind me of your question, and if you don't feel I've answered satisfactorily.
No, I think it's about getting the vaccination to the frontline workers, the
Yeah.
teachers, before everything opens. And we don't want to go back into another lockdown. So, what the question I saying, you as a leader of the council, to advocate on behalf of them, are you doing that?
Well, yeah, we're doing that. We're certainly making that case, and certainly if I was in charge of the country, which I'm not, I would give greater priority to key workers, and I want school staff to be safe. I mean, the argument that they use is that you may be young and you may catch COVID, and it's not going to hurt you very much. But I think people with chronic health conditions or people who have family members with chronic health conditions need to be worried, and we need to look after them. And I don't think the government's got that message right. I think what works in the home counties, where everyone, people live in bigger houses and are less overcrowded and so on, maybe doesn't work in Tower Hamlets. I think we should have had rules which work better in our crowded areas.
Thank you.
Yeah, very quickly on John before we go to Councillor Farouk Ahmed. John, do you think there's been a disproportionate support given to East London and in particular Tower Hamlet from central government? And which areas do you think if they were forthcoming, then that would have provided a better opportunity for the residents of Tower Hamlets?
Okay, so when we had a much higher level of infection than other parts of the country, we did get extra support in terms of more testing. That was before the vaccination started coming in. Now we're in the strange position that we had very high levels. Now we have some of the lowest levels in London. So there's no logic to this as far as I can see. We did get extra support in terms of testing and in terms of some of the enforcement and advisory work we got from public health. But we haven't disproportionately had more of that. I think, well, actually, no, I'm not going to say, I don't want to set off rumors and things, but we've certainly been angling for better prioritization on the vaccines. And we made some progress, but in my view, not enough on that.
Councillor Farouk Ahmed, any contribution on that, and especially in regards to vaccination? Do you think vaccination program is going well in Tower Hamlets?
Thank you, host. It is certainly going quite well, and what I believe, what I heard, got the update from my lead member for health and well-being, that it has been increased for shielding. I think it was initially about 8,000 in the very beginning. They were thinking to participate, and then it was risen to 15,000. In total of 24,000, I believe it's been risen to within a short period. And the other good news is this, that in our borough, I would add on to that, at the age of 70 plus, more than 68%, which is just about 70% people has been taken the first dose of vaccine. And soon it should be over by the others as well. And the government, as well as the local government, as well as our team, we are trying our level best to get the things over, as Abu has mentioned, and what are we doing, and also what our mayor said as well. And this is the target, basically. The other interesting thing is this, about the laptops, what the mayor said, we have distributed, I think it's about just over 8,000, I think. And as he mentioned, that we're expecting another 10,000 more, but we are still waiting from the government, how soon they can deliver us, and we can distribute that as well. But in terms of vaccine, yes, I think I'm quite satisfied with it, and the way things are going at the moment, it is going good.
Councillor Farouk Ahmed, you're probably aware, especially with the BAME communities, there's a lot of hesitancy and a lot of fear around the vaccination. Yeah, what have we done to kind of dismiss some of those myths? Have we been leading with good example? Because I speak to a lot of people when they're very skeptical, because in the past a lot of research has been done with BAME communities, and those research were very negative. Communities were used as experimental grounds for medicine and that. Yeah, and I think this is why there's been reluctancy in the BAME community of taking up. I mean, do you see some of that issue in the borough, and if you do so, what we're doing about it?
Surely, that's a very good question. And in the very beginning, I did face quite a lot of this, and I'm sure you did as well as our mayor. What we have done is this, you probably have seen, by LMC, East London Mosque, they really encouraged people, and Mayor John Biggs, and he went himself into that particular program. And then there were many residents from our community, especially Bangladeshi community, they were participating to take the vaccine. I personally came across with a number of residents or people who have known that they were quite hesitant to take it. Now, the more time it's taking, people are getting more good thing about it, and they're looking forward to taking the vaccine. So I'm really sure, pretty much sure, I think you will agree with me as well, that people are not reserved the way they were in the very beginning. They're more open and helpful and looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I mean, before you come in over, there's a really funny. Yeah, just before you come in, there was a funny incident where I've been informed by one of my colleagues who told me that there was some vaccination program taking place in the borough, and obviously the target elderly, vulnerable, group was vaccinated, but then there was a lot of vaccination still left, and I think they then kind of came out and asked randomly people to take the vaccination. Yeah. How much of that is that true? And then some people were saying that, look, they had to, they were from other boroughs and they came into Tower Hamlets and they were offered on some parts of the area if they wanted to be vaccinated. Is that true, or is that some kind of myth going around?
Do you want me to answer that?
Anyone can do it.
Okay, it's mostly untrue, and by that I mean the first vaccine, the one that has to be kept at minus 200 degrees centigrade or whatever it is, and they got it in blocks of about 1,000, and invited 1,000 people to come. And if at the end of the day they didn't have that full 1,000 vaccines given out, then rather than throwing it in the bin, they were encouraging people to come who weren't in the priority list, because that's better than throwing it away. Pretty rapidly after that, started compiling lists of key workers, care workers, people in vulnerable positions who weren't yet on the priority list, and so prioritizing it for people who really needed it. So, a good example would be our bin staff. I mean, the levels of sickness amongst our people on the dustbin crews, you think about it, they spend their lives sort of huddled up together. We had big levels of sickness and vulnerability. We wanted to prioritize them. So we managed to get some of them in for testing and for vaccination. And so we've done it cleverer since then. The other vaccine, the Oxford one, you don't have to. You can stick it back in the fridge and use it the next day. So you don't have to grab people off the street. So I don't think that happened very much. But in the first couple of days, it did happen for a small number. But, now it's working very well. I mean, I don't know if anyone watched the TV yesterday, but obviously people watch the TV all the time. But someone contacted me. They were waiting 4 hours, 5 hours at Excel to get their injection yesterday. If we can do it locally, which is what we're trying to do in towns with 4 or 5 places, then you could do it within 10, 15 minutes. And that's what most people here are finding they're able to do. So that's the way we want to do it. What we really want to do is get the vaccine into local GPs so that you can go to your local GP just like you go if you had a cold or something, and it's just a routine thing. So Cable Street's been really popular for that. And up by Chris Street Market as well, we have a centre, and at Queen Mary University. In my ideal outcome, we'd have every GP surgery and every pharmacy would have it, and you could just go along and get it. But we're not there yet. Going back to the question about vaccine hesitancy, some people are very nervous about vaccine. There might be all sorts of reasons for that. Maybe people just don't trust the system. They think, it's stacked against them, and why should they be involved in it? So we need to get people through. I mean, I think the answer to the question, what we're doing, is partly about what you're doing. So community leaders like yourselves who are out on the street, who've got all sorts of other connections, which I may have, but I may not have the same ones as you. You can do word of mouth. You can persuade people. We got Darrell Chowdhury, wasn't it? It's the guy who's 100 years old, who's a friend of many of ours, and so he made a video clip of him getting the vaccine. And there's things like that we had. As Farouk Bhai has said.
Okay, John,
yeah.
Very quickly, sorry to disturb you. As soon as the telephone number comes up there, we get the call. So we're going to go to a call if that's okay. And we'll come back again. Yeah. Hello, sure. Assalamu alaikum, caller. Wa alaikum salam. If you can, your name and which area you're calling from.
So it's Sunny from Minor Blocks.
Great, excellent. Okay, fantastic. Welcome on board on our community show. Do you have a question or you want to make a comment?
I have a question and comment, if that's okay.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
First comment is, Abdul Bhai and Abdul Bhai, you're doing a great job at 30 Rivers. MashaAllah, may Allah reward you for that. And keep doing what you're doing.
Remember the food packs, okay? Just tell and motivate everyone.
Yeah, don't
Ramadan.
forget the food packs. Don't forget the food packs.
Yeah, you know that's more important to us.
For the mayor, if possible.
Yep.
We all residents of Hamlets, we have to follow strict criteria in terms of COVID response, in terms of maintaining distance, social distancing, which everyone has been trying to do, maintain. The mayor was seen with Councillor Eastham on the Isle of Dogs with no distancing, no face masking. So how can we, as residents, follow our mayor if he's not following the same protocol?
Okay. So Councillor Ettersham Huck, we went to look at Cubic Town Library, which the council was talking about closing. We now think we don't need to close it, and he's very passionate about it, and I went to look at it with him. And we were mostly socially distant, but someone took a photo of us, and I don't know what the angle was. I don't know exactly how many feet apart we were when the photo was taken, but it gives the impression that we were not 6 feet apart. I'm pretty sure we weren't 6 feet apart, but you know, I do meet people in public. I don't meet people in private. I walk with people. It's part of doing my job. I simply cannot do the job as mayor by staying in my home and not going out at all. So I think I got the balance right. And if you feel I didn't and I gave a bad example, then I apologize to you. But I think I was doing a necessary job as mayor, and there was respectful distance between us during that. I mean, I'm sure many of you meet people down at the shops or whatever, and you don't go with a tape measure. So it's about being sensible and about making sure that you don't contaminate each other.
Great, thank you, John, and I hope that kind of like addresses that particular point.
Abdul, we have another call.
Yeah, let's go to the callers. We'll give callers priority. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Next caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I actually put a comment on Facebook, and I know it's close to the time because I didn't even know this was happening till now. During the first lockdown, some older people did not receive parcels.
Okay.
I reported 4 lots of parcels that were discarded in one particular estate, and nothing was ever said about it afterwards. So I just wondered what happened.
Was that during the first lockdown or?
Yeah.
Okay, first lockdown. Yeah.
And there was even people that I actually somebody dropped the parcel to me, and he wasn't even entitled to it. He was good enough to put it on Facebook and asked if anybody needed it, which I took for my mother, who never got anything. And I also didn't get anything, even though my son's vulnerable as well. So I'm just wondering why people were missed during that time.
Okay. So, but I don't know the exact circumstance of what happened. But during the first lockdown, we were. And he wasn't
even entitled to it. He was good enough.
I think that's continue, John. We might get some feedback.
Okay.
That's all.
So during the first lockdown, we started supporting food banks and a number of charity projects, and I want, by the way, to acknowledge the work that you guys have been doing. And I know Abdul Mumin is a hero. I don't want to embarrass him, but he's doing great work as well. But he's a leader, and having leaders like him on the show helps to show it's not just the council that does stuff. There's a lot of great volunteering activity in our community and enterprise. So some people were on a vulnerable list, and they were given the opportunity to receive food parcels. Some were delivered by the government, some were delivered more locally. Lots of other people would have phoned our helplines at the council, been put through to food banks or to other charities. And I think the first time around, it was a bit creaky. It took a while to start up. But if you are genuinely on the list of vulnerable people, and you've been asked by the government to stay at home, then we should, through our helpline, which is the 0207 3030 number, be able to link you up with that to make sure you do get the food. I think a lot of people, rather than needing food, needed money, actually. So we've been looking at how we can work through our anti-poverty work and through the benefit agencies to make sure that people out of work do get the food they want. What also happened during the first lockdown was quite a lot of charities, and including some of my councillors, put together initiatives working with local business to collect packages of food and to distribute those in their wards. And that was, I think that was very well intended, and it reached a lot of vulnerable people, but it wasn't sort of scientific. So people may have got food from that in a particular area, and it wasn't managed through a list system. I think that was true of some of the church and mosque charity works as well. But so I think what it told us initially was there's a lot of people with really good intentions wanted to help. A lot of people needed help, but we didn't pull it all together in the way that perhaps we could have done. So I think we got it better this time. Although we obviously we don't have enough resource for us to feed the whole borough. But if you feel you're missing out, then please contact the helpline on 3030. If you don't get any joy out of them, please get in touch with me.
And also, you can continue getting support from 13 Rivers Trust. We provide hot meals on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So please go onto our webpage and or leave us a message. We'll try and get back to you as well. I mean, I've got to say, a lot of community organisations in Tower Hamlets have come forward during the lockdown period, provided a lot of support. I know organisations, community groups were providing, protection equipment to people. They were taking food to Royal London Hospital. So I think we need to celebrate a lot of the good work that the local residents have actually been doing in the first lockdown and even now. There's a lot of community spirit out there, even though a lot of issues and a lot of suffering. People are overcrowded in some of the situations. We'll talk some of that a bit later on. I'm just going to pass on to Brother Abu now because there's loads of comments that we've got, and I think we need to read some of those comments out as well. So if
there are loads of comments, there are loads of calls. So I was going to say, somebody said to stand up as a mayor against Biggs, John Biggs.
Yeah. Okay,
that's
fine.
That's not my
Go for it. You can do it if you want, and all your hair will fall out as well. I trust you.
Oh, I know. On a serious note, John, it seems to, according to your website, that the BME groups are not taking up the vaccine as much, similar to the white counterpart. This is an important question. And another question, Harry Ali asked, what are you doing regarding vaccinating the people who are not registered with the GP, because they could be spreading it to others? And I know this with our burial fund. We found a lot of people from that community affected by COVID-19 and dying. If you could quickly answer that one, please.
Okay, so I mean, I think everyone knows that the impact of the virus on our Black, Asian, minority ethnic communities has been greater than on the white European community, and it's not as straightforward as just numbers because the communities are different in terms of age profile and so on. But in terms of the take up of the vaccine, that's been worrying. It's getting better. The worst take up is amongst our Black communities in Tower Hamlets and indeed across the country. South Asian communities, including Bangladeshi community, catching up quite a lot, but still behind the white European community. So, when Farouk gave the number of 70-something%, there are some. If you look at the 85s, then 85% plus of white folks of that age group have had it, and it's more like sort of 70-something% of South Asian people, maybe 75 now. And for the Black communities, which in towns is mainly Somali communities, it's considerably less than that. So we've been doing quite a bit of work to try and reach out to people. I could talk about that at great length, but we need to get some more questions in. There's a number of ways of doing it, like your program. The question about unregistered, we're very clear, and even the government's been clear on this, that if there are people who are unregistered because of their migration status, for example, or because they are in no settled accommodation, please just go to a GP surgery and they will take care of you there. You may not be able to get onto the permanent books because some of the GP roles are full, but in terms of vaccination, we need to sort out and make sure everyone gets it to keep us all safe. So go there and do it. And
basically you're saying those who aren't registered or cannot register due to immigration status.
Yep.
Where do they go? Do they go to the GP? Any GP?
I don't want to give bad information, but you should certainly contact the NHS. I think if you contact your GP, they will tell you where to go.
They don't have a GP. They don't have a GP.
Okay, if you contact the GP on the street corner near to where you live, they will point you in the right direction. I'm not going to I'm not going to give people dodgy advice.
Right.
But we don't care. It's the same. If you have no recourse, then we're not worried about that. If you're not meant to be in the country, then we're not worried about that. We want people to get the vaccine, basically.
Thank you, George.
We've done confidentially, no questions asked, and just need to get the vaccine.
Thank you, John. We've got loads of callers here. Let's go to the caller. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Next caller. Hello. Caller, next caller.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, yeah, my name is Farhana. I'm from Hamlets.
Oh, great, Farhana. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Yeah, no,
Fantastic.
I'd like to congratulate you on today's show.
Hmm.
And great teamwork having the mayor and the councillor there and community workers such as yourself, community leaders like Abjol and Abu Mumin. And also I'd like to say thank you to the mayor because I know him kind of personally because we're from the same neighborhood. I know that he's quite humble. He does a lot of good work. And sometimes we might not meet eye to eye. But, you know, he's done an amazing job because with the pandemic, it was something so shocking and all of a sudden to us. And, you know, and there will be a lot of imperfection.
So, Farhana, tell us what he's done.
Wow.
From what I've seen, like, for example, supporting food banks, giving out food, and then, you know, the school system. You know, I'm really happy to say, you know, we've received a lot of support from the authorities, education department. When I went for my corona test to go to Bangladesh, you know, in Watney Market, the whole system was really good. So I'm really actually proud of the mayor, and I'm proud of the council, and I'm happy to be where I am. The only thing is, I have a question which is quite serious. So when the pandemic started, and the whole of UK was centralized in Hamlets, because Bangladeshis were mostly affected by coronavirus. In my recent visit to Bangladesh, you know, I've realized that it's not actually genetic, because they seem to be okay there. They seem to tolerate this disease. But why so many Bangladeshis got affected, even died through this? And a lot of researchers said that it was due to poverty and lifestyle and housing. So I really want to know what the mayor is going to do. And, you know, even if it's not the mayor in long term, what kind of legacy is he going to leave for us, for our future and for our safety, well-being?
Okay. Shall I come back on that?
Yeah, John, please, yeah. And Farhana, that's the only question you've got, yeah?
Yeah.
Only question. Okay.
Great, excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Farhana. We've got loads of people trying to call in.
Okay.
What I'm going to try and do is do speed calling. Yeah, so I'm going to ask all our callers, please, when you come on, you know, like, just give us the questions very quickly, so that then we can get John or Councillor Farooq Ahmed to kind of respond to that as well. So yes, John, you go ahead on that one.
Okay, as long as it's not speed dating, I don't mind. So that's my terrible sense of humour. But when I know Farhana, and I appreciate her warm comments. Question about the impact of COVID. We got some clever scientists at the Royal London Hospital, including former GPs, who've been researching this as well, and so they've got quite a bit of information. And we won't know the whole story until it's all over, of course. But essentially, it looks as if people who are living in multi-generational households, people in overcrowded accommodation, people who are working in what I call face-to-face employment. So you might be a minicab driver, a bus driver, or a shop worker, or in the hospitality, working in a hotel or something. A job where you can't do it from behind a computer. You have to do it from the coalface. They're going to be more vulnerable. Another issue is that because of the poverty in East London, quite a lot of people have high levels of comorbidities, as it's called. So they might have another long-term illness, and the virus will pick on you more harshly if you have a long-term illness. So they're the sorts of reasons. And so it's certainly not genetic, or doesn't seem to be genetic. Some things in life are genetic, but that doesn't seem to be genetic. But it is picking on people, which is why we've argued from the town hall that we should get more resource and quicker vaccines in East London than in other places. You know, it's sort of as simple as that. Why it's less deep in Bangladesh? Well, I think the virus, I guess, hasn't torn through Bangladesh in quite the same ways here. But it may do still. I think we may be seeing the end of the pandemic in the UK in the next few months if we're lucky. But there are other parts of the world where it'll be going on for a long time, and we need to be very careful and wary of that.
Okay, Abjol, I have another question. I may have sounded a bit soft. So this question is to Farooq Bhai. Then I'll ask the mayor to answer. Farooq Bhai.
Sorry to interject here. We've got a caller, and we give our callers a priority. Yeah.
I was going to give you the hard question.
No. Yeah, we will. But let's get the callers. Yeah. Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Next caller.
Assalamu alaikum. Abdul Bhai, it's Ashid.
Oh, Ashid Bhai, how are you? Fantastic. Mashallah, very good. Welcome on board. And
Abu Mumin did an excellent job.
I asked you a question.
Ask me a question.
No. Your one of your questions was asked already. So welcome on board.
I want to go. Let's say it's not every day you get to see the mayor. Okay, so I want to go straight after John Biggs here, right, for various reasons. Number one, as a head teacher of a town school, we met yesterday as a teacher body to see how we can safely reopen school. A number of staff are clinically vulnerable, so they can't come back to work. It's going to affect education of the students. Okay, sadly, you're not allowed to meet friends, family, but you can go and meet in a class of 30 or year group of 150, 200 in town schools. Right? John knows, and I know, and you know, this is one of the most deprived poverty. When I send children home to isolate, families don't have space to isolate. This is where I think John needs to flex a bit more muscle, right? Because a large proportion of the adults in Tower Hamlets and across the country have been vaccinated, right? I've also noticed that the government's vaccination has slowed down. In the beginning of February, they're doing over 500,000 a day. Yesterday, it was less than 200,000. So I think Tower Hamlets is to make a special case where we get our frontline staff, including all education staff, right, into being vaccinated because of the conditions that Tower Hamlets have. Only last week, in the last 2-3 weeks, I know of at least 3 parents who have died who've got children in my school, and that's hard to take. And that will put off a lot of parents from sending their children to school.
Okay.
No, thank you, Ashid Bhai. That was a very important question, and I think let's get a response to that.
So, well, I think if I understand the question, I know Ashik as well, of course, and it's the academy on Commercial Road, yeah, and obviously that's a secondary school, and so the kids won't be going back as quickly in the primary schools. So we'll see where we are when we get to that point. I think the government has set some tests nationally before they do every next trigger. I would like our teaching and support staff to be vaccinated, but we've answered that question a couple of times already, that the government doesn't currently give that sufficient priority, in my view. I think there was another point I was going to make then, which is about so we expect there are some people may think that the mayor is powerful, but I tell you, someone who's more powerful than the mayor is a head teacher of a school in our borough, particularly a secondary school. I'm not saying this just to pass the buck back to you, but obviously every work setting, every school setting has got a health and safety need, and you need to assess whether you think, as the leadership of that school, that you've got enough safety measures in place, given the risk of the virus, for it to be safe to reopen. And the council will work closely with our education team, with the schools, and I'm sure they're working with you to make sure that you have enough equipment and so on.
But John, it's surely you know the nature of Tower Hamlets. Obviously, the conditions are very similar. Most of the kids that are using our schools have those kind of conditions where they're either larger families, overcrowding condition. Isn't the case equally for working as a cluster of schools? Because obviously, if they all come together and they make that case, isn't that more stronger than individually doing it?
Okay, well, I think the evidence seems to tell us that in primary schools, this is less of a problem. It may be when the kids are younger, they're less affected and less likely to spread the virus. For secondaries, I want to see more reassurance and more safeguards. And I want to see in detail the guidance from the government. So they've talked about a timeline for secondary schools reopening, but there's a bit of time yet for us to get to that point. And we need to talk with our schools and with our education team and make sure that we are confident about that. I suppose one of the measures will be what the infection rate is at. So it's down below 100 now in Tower Hamlets. If it carries on going down the rate it's at, it should be at a level where we can be a lot more confident that our kids in school will be less likely to have the virus, and that people will be less affected. Clearly, if you have staff who are clinically vulnerable because they have a health condition, then they need to get special advice about whether they should be attending work or not in that situation. But I mean, I think I'm not a great fan of the government. We need to trust them in what they've said, that they're going to try and squeeze. They're going to try and get the country back on its feet again, step by step by step. And we need to challenge them all the way along the road on that. And I did a conference call the other day with a whole bunch of teachers and parents from our schools in the borough, and these issues come across very, very strongly.
Great, thank you, John. Abu Bay.
Okay, this is my question is to Farooq Bhai. Farooq Bhai, you were at the meeting with the Royal London Hospital Patients and Families Group. You've heard about the case studies of a family member who doesn't have COVID. There are 3 children. 2 children are allowed. The 3rd one is not allowed. You've heard about dignity and care, about elderly Bangladeshi women stripped naked by the nurses, and there was no need. Male nurses. How would you, as a councillor, as a supporter of, how would you have reacted to that? And then I'm going to ask the next question: what Mayor Biggs will do to ensure such practices don't happen. So my question to you, Farooq Bhai, how would you have responded?
Thank you very much. It's a very important question, and it's very sad as well what actually happened. I mean, yesterday when I heard these things, and obviously one simple thing I'll say is this: there's no compromise about these treatments. So it has to be improved in all means, basically. Now, particularly since that this Royal London Hospital patient and family group has been created and got together, and what I've witnessed, and I thank this particular group as well, that it is in a better situation than previously. All the things, like the demand or the need is going ahead to fulfill. I'm not sure when they will fulfill that, but the thing is that it is in the right direction to get all these things correct. And obviously the check and balance thing, what previously they used to do, the monitoring, I'm not too sure what is that word you call, when they do check the hospitals of their system, are they really looking after, or are they delivering their services properly? I think that was a bit of short as well. So what I've heard from that meeting as well as previously, they are seriously taking this into consideration to fulfill and get the things correct. My role will be on this particular thing as a ward councillor, and that particular hospital falls in my ward. And obviously it's one of the biggest and the best in the country, this particular hospital, and we cannot let that go on the minus side, basically, rather than on the better side. So my role will be I will raise the voice for my residents as well as obviously other patients as well, and that should be corrected as soon as possible. And I'm sure yesterday you have heard our mayor and the lead member for health and well-being. We are seriously considering to look into this, and I'm sure we will do that. And I would like to ask everyone to have faith and confidence on us that we will raise it on behalf of you as well. And once again, I do thank the newly formed organization to get these things correct. And we need your help as well, not just us.
Can I just now just ask John to answer? But I'm going to just add the BME Bangladeshi community is disproportionately underrepresented in terms of a voice as to how the health sector should be managed. We're not talking about the clinical side, but in terms of how they can better engage. If you could touch on the first point and this one, and then we're going to go for a short break.
Okay, so I think the young generation are part of the solution, and I count you amongst that, Abjol. And by that I mean that people are getting into the health service, into positions of responsibility where they can be leaders as well, and that has been underrepresented and we need to get people into senior positions where they have leadership and they have ownership of the welfare of people. Second thing then is that, I mean, I agree with what Farouk said, and of course we can say all these words. I mean, I applaud the work that the Royal London Hospital Patients and Families Group have done by beating down the door of the hospital, speaking to the senior management there and saying, look, we really appreciate that you're trying to keep people safe and deal with their illnesses, but we need greater respect and sensitivity. I think we all know that when things are busy and urgent, that it may be difficult to act as sensitively in all respects, but basically respect and sensitivity to people's faith and cultural background, sensitivity to issues of gender, and sensitivity to the concerns of families who will be worried witless by this. You know, there was a period during the early stage of COVID where you sort of thought that if your relative went into hospital, they might never come out again. And that was true of some people. We're now in a better place in terms of the clinical care, but we need to offer better personal care to people in our hospitals. And I think it's part of the journey we're on. I mean, I'm committed anti-racist in my politics, and it's about the journey we're going on, which is about giving people greater control over their lives, but making sure that institutional racism in organizations is defeated as well. So it is quite a long journey, but it needs powerful advocacy. So people like yourselves, I keep saying that, people like yourselves, like the Patients and Families Group, but also the council, we have something called a Health and Wellbeing Board where we can hold these issues into focus. And as Farouk said, my lead member was there with me last night, and she and I will be talking about this, and we'll be meeting the senior management of the Royal London Hospital. I know that Rushnara Ali has been doing quite a bit of work as well with the Royal London, and I think our other MP has as well, but Rushnara has certainly directly spoken to me about it. So we need to change the way people behave. We need to not accept bad behaviour and disrespect, and we need to have our rights. You know, this is how I got involved in politics in the East End. It's about standing up for our rights, whoever we are and wherever we're from. And the London Hospital's no excuse on that. They declared themselves recently to be on a mission to become an anti-racist institution. And I think that's a noble objective, but if you're not careful, it's a bunch of words, and we need to translate that into action.
They don't even have
sorry, Abu. Sorry, Abu, can I just interrupt you? I mean, about the question what you've asked, can I just add on to this as well? I mean, about this situation from the very beginning, from day one, I was involved with it, and then I was in Bangladesh, and even from Bangladesh, you know, I got contacted with the relevant system and the department, as well as Rushnara's office, and your chair. Definitely, if you ask him, he would say what we have done and what my involvement is. And also, it was quite rapidly. I mean, it moved really fast. And the other thing I'll definitely add is that I will continue to work with you and with this organization long as I can. Thank you.
Farouk Bhai. These are elderly people, vulnerable people who cannot eat themselves, drink with themselves. These are people where families are needed. If the nurses are so busy, then surely you need to allow one family member to do that. Now, of course, it's COVID-19, but some of us have said that there has been a historical practice going on. We need a voice right at the top. Whether it's me or somebody else, we need to have that voice. Abjol, we need to go to that break, don't we?
No, no, we're not going to no break here, because this is quite serious stuff, right? Because we're going for a charity break, and that charity break is our Ramadan food pack launch that we're doing. So I would like everyone to watch the clip and also share it, please, because we want a wider reach. We are fundraising for the Ramadan food pack, preparing early for Ramadan. So we want to have hundreds and thousands of families, you know, prepared with their month food pack, inshallah. So even though we're helping people in the UK, in East London, we're also helping those who need our help abroad as well. So we're playing our part in the UK and abroad as well. So please, let's go to the next clip, and then afterwards we're going to come back for some of the questions that are on the that people have actually made comments on, and we'll come back to that hopefully, inshallah.
As the holiest month approaches, many of us are hoping that this Ramadan will be better than the last one. We were unable to go to the masjid, but we had each other at home. We weren't able to go and visit our loved ones to break our fasts, but we were still able to have healthy, home-cooked food at the time of iftar. Across Sylhet, there are families who don't just go hungry during hot days in Ramadan. They go hungry throughout the year. Their fast goes unbroken, but they do have us. Alhamdulillah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever feeds a fasting person will earn the same reward as him without anything being lessened for the reward of the fasting person. 13 Rivers Trust is a passionate organization working to help communities that are being forgotten. We celebrate the contribution made by our elders and emulate their practice of helping others. Silet Aid is our flagship program aimed at delivering aid to the poorest families across the Greater Sylhet region. Sadly, the first generation of the British Bangladeshi community are disappearing, whether due to natural causes or return migration, and with them, the help that was once so abundant for the poor in Sylhet. With your help, we can make sure their legacy lives on and no one is ever forgotten. As part of this Ramadan, we're aiming to feed the most vulnerable families, struggling to provide for themselves. They depend on your kindness to get by.
ইফতারের সময় তো আপনারা কিছু আছে খাইবার কিন্তু সকল সময় কিন্তু এটা ফাইন না
ফাইন না হকর তো ফাইন না ফাইন না হকর তো যার করে খাইতে পারম না বুঝছেন না
ভাই এলা আপনারা দ্বারা আমি বাচ্চাতে খাই না কি খাই না আপনারা যা দিছে তাও তো খাইতে পারবো ইনশাআল্লাহ আপনারা লাগে নামাজ পড়ি দোয়া করবেন ইনশাআল্লাহ দোয়া করব আমরা করব আল্লাহ আপনারা বেস্ট করে এসি আল্লাহ দিতা
These ladies are so happy. Like, to us, it's just Ramadan pack. We eat so much. We eat chicken and chips. We eat fried food. We eat like samosas. Every day we look forward to iftar. They don't look forward to iftar because there's nothing to eat. This Ramadan, inshallah, through Silet Aid, these people are going to open the iftar with so much food. Alhamdulillah.
No one deserves to go hungry, and every fast should be broken with healthy, nutritious food. You can help make that happen. Just £25 can provide a family with essential food items that will last the entire month. Your sadaqah and zakat will help us feed the fasting during the blessed month of Ramadan. Please, donate now and may Allah bless you.
Great. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, everyone. You're with Abjol here with my host, Abu Mumin. We're on the 13 Rivers Community Show, and we've got our Executive Mayor, John Biggs, and we've got Councillor Farooq Ahmed with us, and we're discussing various different issues. We're going to, mostly around COVID. So hopefully we're going to continue. I hope time-wise, John, you're okay for another 15 minutes, if that's okay. Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll wrap up within 15 minutes. That was our promo for our Ramadan food pack. You're probably aware we are a charity organization. We have several appeals. One of our appeal is COVID-19 emergency appeal, which is we're fundraising for end of burial and Eden care in the UK. We also have a program where we're actually providing hot meals on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's in East London. And we've got Silet Aid with our work that's happening in Sylhet, and the Ramadan food bank will be an essential part. And the other big thing we're also doing from 13 Rivers is we're asking for everyone to think about paying their zakat with 13 Rivers. We have a lot of zakat applicable programs in the UK as well as abroad. So if you are interested in discharging your responsibility with your zakat, then please do consider us as well. So on that particular note, Abu Bay, let's keep on going. We've only got 15 minutes. We don't want to overdo this. I'm sure we will be able to get our mayor to come again, and hopefully we will keep the community updated.
Okay. One message that's coming across strong. We need to encourage everyone to get vaccinated, especially the elderly. Everybody who's watching, right? I can tell you, we are dealing with lots of COVID deaths and burial. Okay. On average, we used to do 3 burials a month. We're now doing 4 or 5 burials a day, right? Please. All right. Whoever says, right, you go and get your loved ones vaccinated. That's number one.
Well, Abu, have you had your vaccination then? Yeah, we've got to lead with some example.
I'm front line, but nobody's offered it to me. So I if I could, I would, because I'm helping my elderly, I'm helping my family. we have to be responsible. So if I could go to the question, I'll ask 3 questions at a time. This about 100 questions here, John. Roland and families and friends are doing a fantastic job creating awareness. And basically what we need to do is help the families access their loved ones at the end stage. Is very important. Shamima says this whole thing is there is a targeted attack on the BME community in terms of social housing, in terms of what's out there. She's comparing Sylhet and Bangladesh. And then families with vulnerable adults are struggling at day center remain closed. No, we need dates like the rest of the people, dates on returning back to normal. If you could comment on those, please.
Can I just throw one in as well in your list here? How much discretionary grants we're receiving as a borough, and on what areas we're spending that on?
Okay, so discretionary grants as well. So, I mean, I agree absolutely. If people are at the end of their lives, then they need to be with their loved ones, and it's been tragic that people haven't been. I lost a very good friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, and we buried her last week, and she couldn't see her sons for 3-4 weeks while she was still in a very lengthy period at the end of her life. It was terrible. And I know this has affected lots of families in our borough, and it feels inhumane. I know we're dealing with a crisis, and we have to be, good citizens and do what we're told, but this is not good enough. We need to find a way of getting around this. I think the London Hospital, because it was such a dangerous place to have the virus, had to be so careful. And I think that the rules have changed a bit now, thanks to the work of people in the community. People are more vulnerable in overcrowded housing. I'm very clear about that, and our evidence suggests that's the case. And I need people to get back. As soon as you get an invitation for vaccination, just go there, get your date, and go as soon as you can. No hanging around. We've really got to get those vaccinations, and I haven't given up yet. I'm going to keep plugging away for our community to be given higher preference. Day centres haven't opened because of the vulnerability. 2 things. First of all, there could be a place where you pick up the virus, but secondly, the people who go to day centres will be particularly vulnerable to the virus as well. And I know people need to get back on the show on the road, and we'll do that as soon as we can. And I know that the social isolation, particularly for people who live on their own, I mean, a lot of people in our community don't live on their own, but a lot of people do, and their isolation is terrible. And then, Abjol, you asked about discretionary grants. This is grants for businesses. We've given out two sets of discretionary grants. I think the second lot have been about £6 million. The first lot was a similar amount of money. People like market traders receiving a sum of money. The businesses that don't automatically get one, so not a sort of bog standard business that has a business rates account, have been getting it as well. There are people like dentists, people who didn't jump through the right hoops. I know some people were disappointed, but we have given money to quite a few thousand small businesses. We just need them to get back into business now as soon as possible, because I know people are really struggling. So do what we can. But yeah.
Great. And just also to bear in mind, you've got a lot of...
There's still some discretionary grant money left, I think. So there'll be another wave. And we're looking at people who've missed out with the rules. The rules, we can't make up entirely our own rules. But the people who the rules say we can make them for. If people haven't received it, then let us know.
I mean, I know a lot of personal trainers who provide a lot of personal training before. Because of COVID, they've actually missed out quite a lot, and a big chunk of their income. And they obviously had to diversify a little bit on online platform, but obviously that wasn't really doing well for them. So I think there are...
Can I interrupt you? I know you're a presenter, but and there's some people in the gig economy. I don't want to raise people's expectations, because not everyone will benefit from this, but some people who are self-employed, but they don't have the premises because they drive around all day doing their job. I think a number of councils have been looking at changing the rules to make people in that position eligible as well. So I want to look at that, but I interrupted you. which I
No,
apologize.
that's good. It's just highlighting there has been various different areas where people have been economically suffering because they're not really recognized, because obviously I know a big chunk of the community who are personal trainers, and obviously no work for like many months now.
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, and there seem to be quite a lot of people still doing it in the borough. I see them in the morning as I walk to work, but yeah. If people are losing out and they can't see their clients and they can't trade, then if we have the money, we'll help them. We've got a limited amount of money from the government, and we want to hear from people who haven't been benefiting.
Okay. We have time to take one or two more callers. Please call in. John, what's this business about road closures? I'm getting quite a few people asking questions about road closures and how that is causing a lot of residents a lot of inconvenience.
Okay. I don't know what you mean by all this stuff about road closures. I know there's
there's road closures in Brick Lane. There's road closures in
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a program which we call Livable Streets, and that's based on consultation with people locally. And if people support road closures, then we've been doing that in places as long as the visitors to the area can still get there, and as long as it doesn't completely mess up the traffic in the area. So the one that's just finishing in Bethnal Green so far has been very well supported by people. One in Bow's been a bit controversial because of what's called the bus gate. We've done a consultation in Shadwell, and Shadwell is going to be, pretty tough because a lot of people are very car friendly in Shadwell. One or two on the Isle of Dogs as well. So Brick Lane was closed experimentally to try and get the hospitality business off the ground again, and that worked a little bit. We're now talking, and the businesses seem to be quite keen on this, about weekend and evening closures in Brick Lane, and we're about to go on a consultation on that. People have been talking about this for years. I mean, since before I came along as mayor, people have been talking about Brick Lane. Should it close? Shouldn't it close? For that question, you have about 9 different opinions. So we'll go out and talk to people, and we don't want to make people's life difficult. We want Brick Lane to be prosperous again, and if we can help that happen, then let's help that happen.
Great, Abjol, we're coming to end of the time. If you quickly go on to all the notes and comments, if we can read some of that out, and then we'll just get everyone to conclude, hopefully.
Okay, I think I've gone through quite a lot because there's so many. It's so hard to go through all the questions. If anybody has any more questions, one or two, they can call in. Otherwise, I think it would be good to sort of summarize the show, Abjol.
Yeah, great. So what we'll do, basically, we'll give our guests the opportunity. Let's go to Councillor Farouk Ahmed. Your last few comments before we wrap up.
Thank you, Brother Abjol and Abu, for having me here, and my mayor as well. One thing I'll definitely say, during this pandemic, we did obviously had a lot of difficulties, and many of us, we lost their loved ones. But there are some positive things that we have learned from this pandemic as well, such as how we're going to have ourselves healthy, like doing exercise in the park, doing lots of exercise, at home as well. From supermarket and other shops, what I've noticed that people are buying vitamins, where even myself, I was quite reluctant on these things, but I am regularly looking after this. So there are some positives as well. Obviously, it is quite painful what actually happened and how it happened. The final thing, what I'll say, thank you so much, and I do believe Mayor John Biggs as well will definitely work with that Royal London Hospital family and patient group. I strongly believe that, and inshallah, we hope we can make the difference, and together we will definitely make a difference. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Councillor Farouk Ahmed Bey. Yes, our executive mayor, John Biggs, for Tower Hamlets.
Okay, so
John, just before you answer that question, Rupina sends a message to you. There are families that are on low income but over the threshold, so they don't qualify for free school meal or even food bank. Can the mayor help us help, as some of these children don't get hot meals because of this?
Okay, so if your child attends primary school, then we have universal free school meals, whether you're a millionaire or you got 2 halfpennies in your pocket. So that's okay if they're at primary school age. And we want to feed people in the holidays as well. And there has been some of that happening, but we don't have the money to do it without the support that we have been getting from government. We want to make sure that continues into the summer. So we'll see what happens with that. The other part of your question about people above the threshold, well, we've got a fairly generous anti-poverty program, and we support our food banks, and we want to continue to do that. And they need to set a threshold somewhere. But we recognize that families are struggling, and we're doing a number of things to try and make life easier. So, for example, we have a 100% council tax reduction scheme, which means if you're on a low income, you don't have to pay council tax, and it only gradually goes up, and you only have to pay a little bit if your income goes above that threshold. So it's not like a guillotine where you suddenly have to pay all of it. So, sensitive to this issue, council can't do it all. We do need a government that takes poverty and incomes more seriously than they have done. So, we're worried about the universal credit cut of £20 coming up soon. I was asked to make a couple of closing comments, I think. So really appreciate being on your program. I'm very happy to do this again because I want to be accountable, and you can ask me difficult questions. You can have ambushes from supporters of my opponents as well. I don't mind. That always happens on these programs because, I'm the mayor and I'm here to be accountable, and you can be as wicked as you like. My job is to serve you and to try to be faithful to you. My message, I guess, is let's keep each other safe and keep working together and supporting each other in a respectful and thoughtful way. And what we're beginning to think about at the town hall, and we want to be careful we don't count our chickens before they hatch, as they say, is think about what happens afterwards. How can we make our community better and stronger after COVID? We've had all this community supporting each other over the last year. Can we hang on to some of that? Can we be a more humane and thoughtful community after COVID? Because I think it's not just about, you need money to live on, but you need also the love of the community to support you as well. And we want to make sure that this is a more caring community in Tower Hamlets. I'd like that to happen. But thank you for inviting me today. And thanks for the work you're doing, Abel, and also Abjol from time to time. That's my sense of humor by the day. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
By the way, my colleague Farouk is doing a fantastic job in Whitechapel. I forgot to say that, but he is.
Great, excellent. Well, thank you very much, our Tower Hamlet Executive Mayor, John Biggs. And Abu my due apologies, we won't be able to take any calls now because we've actually come to the end of the show. And obviously our guests have been with us. We've actually gone half an hour over our time schedule. We did give people opportunity to call in. I know we had, loads of callers trying to get in, and we've only got one telephone line. Our show is really, really growing. So before I kind of conclude, I'd like the opportunity for Abu Bay to kind of have his last comments, and then I'll kind of wrap it up.
Jazakallah khair. I was hoping that after John and Farouk Bhai leaves, we could spend 10 minutes talking about the Ramadan food packs, if it's possible, Shah and or Abjol Bhai.
Oh yes, anything to do with charity here, right? No problem,
So stay tuned. We give John and Farouk Bhai a break. Basically, I just want to say there's loads of comments. One person says most people in Tower Hamlets were against the parking zone. There was about 7,000 signed petition. I just think John and Farouk Bhai, there needs to be a lot more listening, and I'm glad that the Royal London Hospital thing, you are listening, and we're going to be keeping a close eye in terms of what happens, because for far too long we've had empty promises and no action. We want to see some good action, and hopefully when COVID goes very soon, I'm hoping that we will see positive action from the council and also from the community and the hospital. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you very much, John Biggs, and also Councillor Farouk Ahmed. And me and Abu Bay, we're going to now kind of march everyone into our campaigns. Hopefully, we'll get a lot of comments regarding our Ramadan food bag. So thank you very much for spending that time. I do apologise for going over 30 minutes, but on a community show, when people enjoy, the comments and they like challenging, and holding people to account, then obviously half an hour is okay.
Yeah, I don't mind. What better way to spend the evening? What better way to spend the evening? Thank you very much.
No, you're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, good night.
Great,
So,
fantastic, and Jazakallah everyone for being with us, and
Okay,
you know,
I
thank
can
you.
relax now.
Well, we were relaxing then as well. Yeah, I mean, we gave the opportunity for people to, you know, hold their mare to account, and obviously we got loads of comments, and a lot of people did call in. Our apologies for if we're not able to take everyone's call. We do have one line.
I couldn't read everyone's comments.
Yeah, because you know the show is expanding so much. It's just unbelievable. What we will do, and just to let everyone know, we are non-political. We will give different political platforms opportunities as long as they are benefiting or relevant to the community. We will try and bring them on board. And hopefully,
Before everyone goes, we need to tell them about the Ramadan food pack.
No, definitely. We've been saying all that. Does everyone know what Ramadan food pack is all about? Wait, do you know what it's all about?
Of course, I know. What we do every Ramadan, we're going to go to the shops and get all the lovely samosas and the drinks and fill our fridges up so that we have a great Ramadan. But we know just in a place called Bangladesh, a place called Sylhet, there are poor people who are zakat worthy and they do not have anything to eat. So what we're saying, give one Ramadan pack that will cover a whole of the month of Ramadan. We're going to give one pack which costs £25, and we're going to gift it on your behalf, and it's going to go to the poor, and inshallah it's going to be going to the greater Sylhet area. We got approximately 26 distribution points that it's going to go to. So we need everyone to sort of make commitment. We're looking for volunteers to say, yes, I can do 10 food packs, I can do 20 food packs, I'll get my families involved, or they just can give one.
But we want more. We want more than one. We want you to exhaust all your network and try and get as many as possible, 10, 15 food packs, whatever you can do. Do remember that, look, whatever you can do before Ramadan, you'll get the reward as though, because you've made intention to benefit those who will be fasting, inshallah. So yes, if you want to volunteer, come and help us fundraise, you can do so. If you're a business, you want to sponsor us, there's a fantastic opportunity coming up. We, as a charity organization, have embarked on the humongous project, which is unbelievable, My Ramadan TV. Okay, now we've taken that bold step to actually go 24 hours live during the month of Ramadan, with smashing programs that are going to come with various different topics, with scholars, with information and educational elements to it as well, to kind of help you to stay tuned with Catch Up TV online, so that wherever you go, you're able to kind of like benefit from the deen and contribute also to the wider community as well.
One person asked a question: Can she donate her fidya? So fidya is somebody who cannot fast because of whatever reason. Sure, my short answer is sure.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
for
For
the
definitely for the food pack, definitely that qualifies for that. And you know what better way to do it right now, you know, inshallah. So there are some people saying they would like to become volunteers. Yes. Just contact us. You know, me or Abu Bay.
How do they contact you? How do they contact you, bro?
Okay, how do you want to contact me? Yeah, very easy. abjol.mir@13rivers.co.uk. Simple as that. You know, that's my email. And if you do want to call me or message me, message us on 13 Rivers Facebook page. You know, leave your details, or you know, when we'll get back to you. Yeah. Alternatively, you can call me on my number. It's very easy. It's very public. 07940585071. Yeah. You know, WhatsApp. Sorry, don't WhatsApp me. Yeah, I'm moving away from WhatsApp. That's my own personal thing. Yeah. If you want to beat me, you can beat me. But if you send me a text message, I will definitely respond. And if you email me, you'll get an official response. Okay. An email is so important these days.
Shall we watch that video one more time?
Of course, we have to watch that video one more time. So, are you looking forward to Ramadan, Abu Bay? Are you preparing for Ramadan? Okay.
Of course, I am. You know.
Okay.
So one of the ways to prepare is to help those most in need, and we're looking for a lot of volunteers who can come and. You know what? Why should we be given 2,000 food packs? We should be aiming to give 20,000 food packs, and that's where a lot of people who are listening, they should come forward and say, okay, let's become a volunteer. That's how you
definitely.
get involved. You know?
Yeah, you can be a volunteer, or you can participate, because we're going to do some fantastic or very, very easy fundraising challenges as well. So if you want to run for us, if you want to walk for us, if you want to cycle for us, you'll have the opportunity to do so. Obviously, you're going to do it on your own. We'll have a package program designed so that you can do it in your own time. You can make a challenge for yourself that during the month of Ramadan, you're going to basically do certain distance and fundraise for many of our appeals. And we will discuss more of our appeals very soon. The other thing we're going to do every Wednesdays now, very soon, is all the presenters and programs that we're going to be hosting during the month of Ramadan. We're going to do a trial period. We're going to bring some of those shows forward, and they're going to come on board on Wednesdays, and they're going to do some shows. We've got a fantastic community shows lined up. We've got Convert Community show coming up. We've got comedy shows coming up. We've got Sisters Hours. We've got all those Children Hour. So all those shows are going to come up.
We got the Jinn Hour.
Yeah, Abu Bai's favorite. Abu Bai's favorite topic. He's got the Jinn Hour. You know. So,
come on, we have to accommodate the jinns, right?
Yeah, but with respect, though, isn't it? Yeah, we're not there to bash the jinns. We're there to from a Sunnah perspective to kind of basically learn and experience. But why not? If we have a little spooky wiki kind of like an hour, why not? I mean, have you been following me on my Facebook? Because some guy, he posts all these ghost sightings and that. Yeah, I just discovered him, and he's quite scary. Anyway, that's a different matter in itself. Yeah, but Ramadan is coming. I would like to say to everyone, look, start preparing physically, mentally for Ramadan. The Sahabas and the companions used to prepare months early. So please start preparing, mentally prepare. If you are someone who's eligible to pay zakat, then please consider 13 Rivers, with your zakat. If you're a business person, if you have a big company, whatever, and you can split your zakat up. We're not saying that you have to throw all your zakat at 13 Rivers. I mean, I always proportion it, to various different causes and that, but please do make a percentage of that for 13 Rivers, inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay. Shall we watch that video then?
Yes, please.
Can we? Sure. Can you put our technician, can you put that video on? I thought that video was pretty good.
Yeah, excellent video. Yeah, very good video.
Is our technician here?
As the holiest month approaches, many of us are hoping that this Ramadan will be better than the last one. We were unable to go to the masjid, but we had each other at home. We weren't able to go and visit our loved ones to break our fasts, but we were still able to have healthy, home-cooked food at the time of iftar. Across Sylhet, there are families who don't just go hungry during hot days in Ramadan. They go hungry throughout the year. Their fast goes unbroken, but they do have us. Alhamdulillah. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever feeds a fasting person will earn the same reward as him without anything being lessened for the reward of the fasting person. 13 Rivers Trust is a passionate organization working to help communities that are being forgotten. We celebrate the contribution made by our elders and emulate their practice of helping others. Sylhet Aid is our flagship program aimed at delivering aid to the poorest families across the greater Sylhet region. Sadly, the first generation of the British Bangladeshi community are disappearing, whether due to natural causes or return migration, and with them, the help that was once so abundant for the poor in Sylhet. With your help, we can make sure their legacy lives on and no one is ever forgotten. As part of this Ramadan, we're aiming to feed the most vulnerable families, struggling to provide for themselves. They depend on your kindness to get by.
ইফতারের সময় তো আপনারা কিছু আছে খাইবার, কিন্তু সকল সময় কিন্তু এটা ফাইন না।
ফাইন না, সকল সময় তো ফাইন না, সকল সময় তো আর কোনো খাইতে পারব না, বুঝছেন না?
ভাই এলা আপনারা দ্বারা আমি বাচ্চাতে খাই না। কি খাই না, আপনারা যা দিছে তাও তো খাইতে পারবো ইনশাআল্লাহ। আপনারা লাগে নামাজ পড়ি দোয়া করবেন ইনশাআল্লাহ। দোয়া করব আমরা করব, আল্লাহ আপনারা বেস্ট করে এসে আল্লাহ দিতা।
These ladies are so happy. Like, to us, it's just Ramadan pack. We eat so much. We eat chicken and chips. We eat fried food. We eat like samosas every day. We look forward to iftar. they don't look forward to iftar because there's nothing to eat. This Ramadan, inshallah, through Sila Aid, these people are going to open the iftar with so much food. Alhamdulillah.
No one deserves to go hungry, and every fast should be broken with healthy, nutritious food. You can help make that happen. Just £25 can provide a family with essential food items that will last the entire month. Your sadaqah and zakat will help us feed the fasting during the blessed month of Ramadan. Please, donate now, and may Allah bless you.
Alhamdulillah. Good video, Abu Bay. That was a very, very good video. MashaAllah.
Yeah. It's you know, people who are watching, brothers and sisters, you know, I myself have been to giving out these Ramadan food packs for a few years. It's a new thing that we've been doing, and I really, you know, from the video you can see how people appreciate it. If there is someone who's watching and you want to help out, please contact us. You know, if you can't do 5 or 10 food packs, give one at least. The donation link is there. You know, that's all you have to do is make the intention.
And if you
you're going to
can't,
give us,
yeah. And if you can't give it, get someone else. You know, motivate someone else to get it as well, or give it as well.
Yeah. And we've got quite a few people who are watching. If you know us, you want to get involved, you want to give your zakat, yeah, don't hold back. Yeah, let's help these people together, inshallah. You know, that's my message. Is when you 25 quid, people, you know, like for your family, you want to order a meal, it's easily cost 30, 35, 40 pounds every time you get a meal. This £25 actually covers a whole month's meal for a family. Yeah, and please have a think, you know, and inshallah you'll find that you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala you'll get the reward in this dunya and akhirah. And you know, what can I say?
Alhamdulillah, way it's very good. I'm sure we're going to gain a lot of volunteers and a lot of people are watching us. But you know what? This show doesn't end. It's like catch up. So I would like all our brothers and sisters today, those of you who participated, took time out to be with us. Obviously, we probably didn't get all your question answered. There's so much. Continue engaging. You can hold your counselors to account. You can hold your mayor to account. There's different platforms, different ways of doing it. We will try time to time to bring, you know, official people on board in order to present them in front of our viewers so that you can have an opportunity. We won't be able to like answer all the questions because we don't have the time today. We went half an hour overboard, but inshallah, you know, we've got more coming in, and also we will bring in people from different political persuasions. We're not just going to bring them from one. As long as it's community based, it's charity based, it's impacting on the community, you know, we will then select people to come on board, inshallah. I want to very quickly, we need to wrap up and kind of like make tracks, but the key thing is I want everyone to share. So today's link here, please share it with all your friends and colleagues so that they can see the repeat. Those many people who missed the opportunity, but they haven't, because this is all about catch up, because they'll be able to see this show, you know, again, you know. So please share it to all your family members and contact, inshallah. Abu Bay, last few words, and let's quickly wrap up, you know, so we can hit the deck.
Okay, Jazakallah khair for watching, and inshallah, we've been getting guests, quite, you know, diverse set of guests. I'm excited with our TV channel, and Abjol spoke about it, and inshallah, please, if you're listening, make an intention to give one Ramadan food pack. If not, make intention that you will raise 10 Ramadan food pack or 20. Contact us, contact Abjol, and assalamu alaikum.
On that particular note, inshallah, jazakallah for everyone being with us, spending that time with us, and also, you know, asking questions, and apologies to those we were not able to give the chance for the phone calls. On that note, inshallah, until next Wednesday, inshallah, from me and Abu Bay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.